Let me begin by asking you a simple question. What do people think of when they hear your name? Don't answer too quickly. Most people believe their reputation is built during the biggest moments of their lives. The promotion they received, the business they built, the speech they delivered, or the success everyone applauded. But life rarely works that way. A reputation is not created in the spotlight. It is created in the shadows, during the ordinary moments when nobody is paying attention. People see the success, but they never see the thousands of quiet decisions that created it. They admire the confidence, but they never witness the mornings when you chose discipline over comfort. They respect the results, but they overlook the countless evenings you continued working after everyone else had stopped. This is the invisible part of greatness, and it is where every powerful reputation is born. The world has a habit of celebrating outcomes while ignoring habits. It applauds the finished building, but never notices the foundation hidden beneath the ground. Yet every strong building depends entirely on what people cannot see. Human character works exactly the same way. Long before anyone trusts your words, they quietly observe your actions. They notice whether you arrive on time. They notice whether you keep your promises. They notice whether your attitude changes when circumstances become difficult. Every small decision becomes another brick in the reputation you are building. Many people spend their lives trying to look successful instead of becoming trustworthy. They focus on appearances because appearances create immediate attention. Attention disappears quickly. Trust grows slowly, and that is why it becomes far more valuable. Anyone can impress people for one day. Very few people can earn respect year after year. Respect is not built through excitement. It is built through consistency. Imagine two individuals beginning their careers on the same day. One talks constantly about future success. They tell everyone about their ambitions, their dreams, and everything they plan to accomplish. The other person says very little. Instead of making announcements, they quietly improve every single day. They arrive prepared. They finish what they start. They solve problems instead of creating them. After several years, something remarkable happens. The loud promises are forgotten, but the quiet consistency becomes impossible to ignore. One person built attention. The other built a reputation. This is why your private life matters more than most people realize. The habits you repeat when nobody is watching eventually become the identity everyone recognizes. Every time you choose honesty over convenience, discipline over excuses, and patience over frustration, you are shaping how people will describe you long before you enter the room. Never underestimate the value of keeping your word. In today's world, many promises are made, but very few are consistently kept. When people discover someone whose actions always match their words, they naturally begin to trust them. Trust is one of the few things money cannot buy. It must be earned through repeated evidence. Every promise you keep quietly increases your value. Every promise you break quietly reduces it. There will be moments when nobody notices your effort. You may work harder than everyone around you without receiving immediate recognition. Do not become discouraged by that. Reputation is like planting a tree. For a long time, it appears as though nothing is happening. Beneath the surface, however, the roots are growing stronger every single day. One day the results become visible, but only because the unseen work was done first. The greatest advantage of building your reputation slowly is that it becomes difficult to shake. Trends change. Opinions change. Circumstances change. But a reputation built on integrity, reliability, and discipline continues opening doors long after temporary success has faded. People begin recommending you before you introduce yourself. Opportunities arrive because others already know the kind of person you are. Always remember that people may forget your words, but they rarely forget how consistently you lived your values. Every ordinary day is another opportunity to strengthen the name you are creating. The question is never whether you are building a reputation. The question is what kind of reputation you are building through the choices nobody else sees. The strongest reputation is never built in front of the crowd. It is built in the quiet moments when your character is your only audience. Once you understand that your reputation is built in private, the next lesson becomes even more important. You must stop chasing attention and start earning respect. At first, these two things may seem similar, but they are completely different. Attention is loud, fast, and temporary. Respect is quiet, slow, and lasting. One disappears the moment people find something new to look at. The other continues opening doors long after people have stopped talking. We live in a world that encourages people to be seen before they are ready. Everyone wants to go viral. Everyone wants recognition. Everyone wants applause. There is nothing wrong with being recognized for good work, but the danger begins when recognition becomes the goal instead of excellence. If your purpose is only to be noticed, you will eventually make decisions that impress people instead of decisions that improve you. I have seen many people spend years trying to look successful without ever becoming valuable. They buy symbols of success before they build the habits that create real success. They want people to admire their lifestyle before they have earned genuine respect for their character. That approach may create excitement for a short time, but excitement fades. Value remains. Imagine entering a room where nobody knows your name. One person immediately begins talking about their achievements. They tell everyone how talented they are, how hard they work, and why they deserve admiration. Another person enters the same room and says very little. Instead of talking, they listen. Instead of seeking attention, they solve problems. Instead of trying to impress everyone, they quietly help wherever they can. By the end of the day, who do you think people will truly remember? The loudest voice may attract attention, but the most dependable person earns trust. That is why I always believe your work should introduce you before your words ever do. When your actions consistently reflect excellence, people begin speaking about you even when you are not present. Opportunities appear because your reputation travels farther than your voice. That is real influence. Influence built on noise disappears quickly. Influence built on character becomes stronger every year. One mistake many people make is confusing popularity with respect. Popularity depends on public opinion, and public opinion changes constantly. One day people celebrate you, the next day they criticize you. If your confidence depends on applause, your peace will disappear the moment the applause stops. Respect works differently. Respect is earned through reliability. It grows because people know exactly what to expect from you. They know you will remain honest even when honesty becomes difficult. They know you will continue working even when nobody is watching. They know your standards do not change simply because circumstances become uncomfortable. That kind of consistency creates something much greater than attention. It creates credibility. Credibility cannot be manufactured overnight. It is built one decision at a time. Every promise you keep adds another layer of trust. Every challenge you face with integrity strengthens your name. Eventually, people stop asking whether you can deliver because your history has already answered the question. There is another reason why chasing respect is wiser than chasing attention. Respect allows you to stay focused. Attention constantly pulls your eyes toward the crowd. You begin worrying about opinions, comparisons, and appearances. But when respect becomes your priority, your attention returns to the only place where real progress happens, your daily habits. You stop asking, how can I get people to notice me? And begin asking, how can I become so valuable that people naturally remember me? This shift changes your entire mindset. You no longer need to announce every goal. You no longer feel pressure to prove yourself in every conversation. Quiet confidence replaces loud ambition. You become comfortable letting time reveal your work because you understand that lasting success never needs to rush. There will always be people who seek shortcuts to recognition. Let them, while they chase temporary applause, continue investing in permanent qualities. Learn more, improve your skills, protect your integrity, strengthen your discipline. Those investments may not attract immediate attention, but they create something far more powerful, a reputation that continues growing even when you are silent. Years from now, people may not remember who spoke the loudest or who demanded the most attention, but they will always remember the person whose actions consistently reflected excellence, reliability, and character. That kind of respect cannot be taken away because it was never built on popularity in the first place. Stop trying to become the most noticed person in the room and become the one whose reputation makes everyone pay attention the moment your name is spoken. As your reputation begins to grow through discipline and respect, something remarkable starts to happen. Your name begins arriving before you do. This is one of the greatest assets anyone can build in life. Imagine walking into a room where people already know one thing about you, not because of rumors, not because of clever marketing, but because your actions have consistently spoken on your behalf. They know you are dependable. They know you keep your word. They know that when you accept responsibility, you finish what you started. That is when your reputation becomes more powerful than your introduction. Most people spend their lives trying to create a good first impression. There is nothing wrong with making a strong first impression, but it is only temporary. A lasting reputation is built through repeated experiences. It is not one great performance that changes how people see you. It is hundreds of small moments where you consistently choose excellence over excuses. Think about the people you trust the most. You probably do not trust them because of one inspiring conversation. You trust them because they have shown you over and over again that they can be counted on. They arrive when they say they will. They complete the work they promise to do. They remain calm under pressure. Their behavior is predictable in the best possible way. That consistency creates confidence in everyone around them. The same principle applies to your own life. Every interaction is an opportunity to strengthen or weaken your reputation. Every commitment you honor adds another layer of credibility. Every challenge you handle with integrity quietly tells people what kind of person you really are. Over time, they stop judging you by your words because your history has already answered every question. Many people believe authority comes from a title. They think leadership begins after receiving a promotion or being given a position of power. But true authority begins much earlier. It begins when people willingly trust your judgment because you have consistently demonstrated responsibility. Leadership is not granted by an office. It is earned through character. I have noticed something interesting about reliable people. They rarely need to convince others that they are capable. Their reputation does the convincing for them. When an important opportunity appears, people naturally think of them first. When a difficult problem needs solving, their name enters the conversation. They do not receive these opportunities because they demanded attention. They receive them because they earned confidence. This is why reliability is one of the rarest and most valuable qualities in today's world. Talent is impressive, but unreliable talent creates frustration. Intelligence is valuable, but intelligence without consistency produces uncertainty. People do business with those they trust. Teams follow those they trust. Families depend on those they trust. Trust becomes the invisible bridge that connects opportunity to preparation. Never underestimate the impact of doing simple things exceptionally well. Returning a call when you promised. Meeting a deadline without excuses. Treating every person with respect, regardless of their position. Remaining honest when dishonesty would be easier. These actions may appear ordinary, but together they create an extraordinary reputation. Greatness is rarely hidden inside dramatic moments. It is usually hidden inside ordinary habits repeated with extraordinary consistency. There will be times when cutting corners seems tempting. You may think no one will notice, perhaps no one will. But your reputation is not only built in other people's minds, it is also built inside your own character. Every shortcut quietly lowers your personal standard. Every act of integrity quietly raises it. Eventually, your standards become your identity, and your identity shapes every decision you make. As your reputation grows, you will also discover another responsibility. Protect it carefully. It takes years to build trust and only moments to destroy it. Never become careless simply because people already respect you. Continue living with the same discipline that created your reputation in the first place. Success should never become an excuse to lower your standards. If anything, it should inspire you to raise them even higher. One day, you will enter a room where people have never met you before, yet they already know your name. They have heard about your honesty, your consistency, your work ethic, and your ability to deliver under pressure. At that moment, you will realize something powerful. The opportunities before you were not created by luck. They were created by the quiet decisions you made long before anyone was paying attention. When your name becomes a symbol of trust, excellence, and reliability, your reputation will enter every room long before you ever walk through the door. As your reputation begins to open doors and your name starts carrying weight, there is one lesson you must never forget. Reputation may introduce you to opportunities, but character determines whether you deserve to stay there. Many people spend years building success, only to lose everything because they forgot the one thing that made success possible in the first place. They protected their image, but they neglected their character. Those are not the same thing. An image is what people see. Character is who you are when nobody is watching. The world often rewards appearances. People admire confidence, influence, wealth, and achievement, but appearances can be created overnight. Character cannot. Character is built through thousands of private decisions that nobody applauds. It is built every time you choose honesty over convenience. Every time you refuse to compromise your values for temporary gain. Every time you remain loyal to your principles, even when taking the easier path would bring faster rewards. This is why I believe your character is your greatest investment. Money can disappear, a business can fail, a career can change, titles can be taken away. But if your character remains strong, you always possess the ability to rebuild. History has shown us that many successful people recovered from failure because they still had integrity, discipline, and credibility. People trusted them enough to give them another opportunity. Think about a tree during a storm. Most people only admire its branches because they are visible. But when powerful winds arrive, the branches survive only because of the roots hidden beneath the ground. Character is your root system. Success is only the branch. If your roots are weak, your success will eventually collapse under pressure. If your roots are strong, even the strongest storm cannot permanently destroy what you have built. Many people ask how trust is earned. My answer is always the same. Trust grows slowly through consistency, but disappears quickly through compromise. It is built one decision at a time and lost one decision at a time. That is why every choice matters, especially the small ones. People rarely lose their reputation because of one enormous mistake. More often, they lose it because they become comfortable making small compromises that slowly weaken their standards. Never tell yourself, just this once. Those 4 words have destroyed countless careers, relationships, and dreams. Every great downfall begins with a small decision that seemed insignificant at the time. Character protects you from those moments because it reminds you that your future is always more valuable than temporary comfort. There will be moments when nobody would know if you chose the easier path. Nobody may notice if you exaggerate the truth, ignore your responsibilities, or take credit for someone else's effort. Those are the moments that define you, not because the world is watching, but because you are watching yourself. Every decision either strengthens your self-respect or quietly weakens it. I have always believed that self-respect is the foundation of confidence. You cannot truly believe in yourself if you know you constantly betray your own values. Real confidence does not come from hearing compliments. It comes from knowing that your actions consistently reflect your principles. When your private life and your public life tell the same story, you develop an inner peace that no criticism can easily shake. As your influence grows, protecting your character becomes even more important. The greater your success, the greater the temptation to believe that ordinary rules no longer apply to you. That is where many people begin falling. Success should never create arrogance. It should create greater responsibility. The higher you climb, the more carefully you must guard your integrity because more people are placing their trust in your example. Remember, people may admire your talent, but they build lasting relationships because of your character. They may celebrate your achievements, but they continue believing in you because of your integrity. Long after the applause fades, your character will still be speaking on your behalf. So never trade a lifetime of credibility for a moment of convenience. Never exchange lasting respect for temporary advantage. Build your life in such a way that if everything you owned disappeared tomorrow, people would still trust your name because they know exactly who you are. When your character becomes your greatest investment, your reputation stops depending on success and starts resting on something far stronger. Your unwavering integrity. Once your character has become your foundation, something extraordinary begins to happen. Your reputation reaches a level where even the people who disagree with you cannot ignore you. They may not like your opinions. They may compete against you. Some may even hope you fail. But deep inside, they respect one thing they cannot argue with: your discipline. This is where true influence is born. It is not built on making everyone like you. It is built on becoming someone whose standards are impossible to dismiss. Many people spend far too much of their lives trying to silence their critics with arguments. They defend every decision. They respond to every negative comment. They become emotionally exhausted, trying to convince people who never intended to be convinced. But there is a far more effective approach. Instead of speaking louder, they become better. Instead of proving people wrong with words, prove yourself right through your actions. The truth is, people can argue with your opinions, but they struggle to argue with consistent results. Someone may question your ability today, but when they see you working every day without excuses, arriving prepared, improving your skills, and refusing to quit, their criticism slowly loses its strength. They may never admit it publicly, but consistency has a quiet way of earning respect, even from those who once doubted you. Think about the people who have made the greatest impact in any field. They were not admired because life was easy for them. They earned respect because they continued moving forward when most people would have stopped. Their discipline became more powerful than their circumstances. That is why their reputation continued growing. It was built on evidence, not emotion. One of the greatest mistakes people make is believing they need everyone to support their journey. That has never been true. You do not need universal approval to achieve extraordinary things. What you need is unwavering commitment to your own standards. If your discipline depends on encouragement, it will disappear the moment encouragement fades. But if your discipline is rooted in purpose, it becomes independent of applause. There will always be people watching your life, waiting for the moment you become discouraged. They expect your motivation to disappear. They expect you to lower your standards when challenges become uncomfortable. That is exactly why discipline matters. Motivation changes from day to day. Discipline remains. It carries you through the days when excitement is gone and only commitment remains. Imagine two athletes preparing for an important competition. One trains only when they feel inspired. The other trains whether they feel inspired or not. Months later, the difference becomes obvious. The first athlete depended on emotion. The second depended on discipline. The same principle applies to every area of life. Businesses are built through discipline. Strong relationships survive through discipline. Great reputations are protected through discipline. People often ask what separates ordinary individuals from extraordinary ones. The answer is rarely talent alone. It is the willingness to continue doing the right things long after they stop feeling exciting. Success is not hidden inside one dramatic breakthrough. It is hidden inside ordinary habits repeated with extraordinary consistency. As your discipline becomes visible, something interesting happens. Even your critics begin changing the way they speak about you. They may still disagree with your ideas, but they stop questioning your commitment. They stop doubting your work ethic because your actions have answered those questions already. Respect does not always begin with agreement. Sometimes it begins with undeniable consistency. Do not misunderstand this lesson. The purpose is never to make enemies admire you. That should never become your motivation. Your purpose is to become so committed to excellence that the opinions of others lose their ability to distract you. Whether people applaud or criticize, your standards remain exactly the same. Whether opportunities come quickly or slowly, your work ethic never changes. That kind of stability creates a reputation that cannot easily be shaken. Always remember that arguments create temporary victories, but excellence creates permanent influence. The louder you argue, the less time you spend improving, the more you invest in your craft, your discipline, and your integrity, the less you need to defend yourself. Your work begins speaking on your behalf. Your reputation begins protecting your name before you ever say a word. Eventually, people will stop measuring you by what you promise and start measuring you by what you consistently deliver. That is the moment your reputation becomes one of your greatest strengths. Not because everyone likes you, but because everyone knows exactly what standards you refuse to compromise, when even your critics respect your discipline. Your reputation becomes stronger than any opinion they could ever hold against you. As we reach the final part of this journey, I want you to think about something that many people never stop to consider. At the end of your life, people will not remember every word you spoke. They will not remember every achievement you celebrated or every title you earned. What they will remember is how you made people feel when you walked into a room and what remained after you walked out. That is the true measure of a reputation. It is not about being the loudest person, the richest person, or the most famous person. It is about leaving every place, every team, every friendship, every opportunity better than you found it. Many people believe success is measured by how much they gain. I believe real success is measured by how much value they leave behind. Anyone can enter a room and demand attention. Very few people can enter a room and quietly raise the standard for everyone around them. That is what true leadership looks like. It does not rely on fear. It does not depend on authority. It grows naturally because people trust your example more than your words. Think about the people who have influenced your life the most. They were probably not the ones who constantly talked about themselves. They were the ones who listened. They encouraged others. They solved problems instead of creating them. They remained calm when everyone else became overwhelmed. They carried themselves with humility while maintaining high standards. Long after the conversation ended, their presence stayed with you because they gave more than they took. That is the kind of reputation worth building. Every room you enter gives you a choice. You can become someone who drains energy from people, or you can become someone who creates energy. Some individuals walk into a workplace and spread negativity before the day even begins. Others walk into the same environment and quietly inspire confidence simply by the way they approach challenges. The difference has nothing to do with talent. It has everything to do with attitude and character. As your reputation grows, people begin watching your actions more carefully than your words. They notice how you treat those who cannot offer you anything in return. They notice whether you respect people regardless of their position. They notice how you respond when success arrives. Anyone can appear humble during difficult times. Real humility becomes visible after victory. One lesson I have learned is that leadership is service disguised as responsibility. The strongest leaders never ask, "How can people help me?" They ask, "How can I help people become better?" That simple shift changes everything. Instead of competing with everyone around you, you begin developing them. Instead of protecting your knowledge, you begin sharing it. Instead of worrying about receiving credit, you become focused on creating results that benefit everyone. Ironically, that is when your influence grows the fastest. Never underestimate the impact of lifting another person. Sometimes a few encouraging words change someone's entire direction. Sometimes your example gives another person the courage to continue when they were ready to quit. You may never fully realize how many lives are quietly influenced by the standards you choose to live every day. Your reputation is not only shaping your future, it is shaping the expectations of everyone who watches you. There will be moments when nobody thanks you for doing the right thing. Continue anyway. There will be moments when your honesty costs you opportunities that dishonesty might have gained. Stay honest anyway. There will be moments when your discipline feels invisible because nobody applauds the sacrifices you make behind closed doors. Keep going anyway. Character has never needed an audience to create lasting influence. As the years pass, you will discover something remarkable. The greatest opportunities rarely chase the most talented person. They chase the most trusted person. Businesses grow because of trust. Friendships survive because of trust. Families remain strong because of trust. Communities become stronger because trustworthy people quietly choose responsibility over recognition every single day. Imagine walking into a room where people instantly become more focused because they know you never lower your standards. Imagine your name becoming associated with integrity, reliability, excellence, and calm leadership. Not because you demanded respect, but because you earned it through years of consistent actions. That is a reputation that cannot be bought, copied, or borrowed. It is built one decision at a time and protected every single day. In the end, your greatest achievement will never be the applause you received. It will be the lives you improved, the standards you inspired, and the example you left behind. When people remember you, let them remember someone whose presence made ordinary people believe they could become extraordinary simply by raising their own standards. When your reputation is built on integrity, discipline, service, and unwavering character, your presence becomes the standard that every room quietly rises to meet.